The views and opinions expressed on Dojo Drifter Live are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of Wusa Studios, its management, or other hosts or advertisers. The shows produced by Wusa Studios can promote any lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only and might include strong themes, images, sex, or language that may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the high-tech facilities of Wusa Studios in Pasig City, Philippines.
Yeah, hey guys, so this is Dojo Drifter Live. For you who are curious, this is the first
And only.
podcast in the Philippines about mixed martial arts. The goal here is to give you guys the latest updates on the world of MMA, both in and out of the Philippines. But first, what is MMA for you guys who don't know? Spanky, can you tell them?
1 second. Before I discuss what MMA is about, this is Gab, this is Oji,
What's
and I'm
up?
Spanky. So, as Gab said, MMA. What is MMA? MMA is basically mixed martial arts. Not to be confused with MMDA. We all know
Yeah.
those
Those are
douchebags are. Yeah,
Those
those
are different,
douchebags are. Dude,
Although
yeah.
you'd love to fight them.
And after what happened when the guy tried to slap the MMDA?
Yeah.
I fight them in the cage, but
Yeah, dude, that's
some of these guys are big. Anyway,
Anyway, MMA, man.
So what's MMA?
so MMA is self-explanatory. It's mixed martial arts. You have your boxing, you have your jiu-jitsu, you have your wrestling, you have your kickboxing, you have your karate, whatever have you. And basically, it's a combination of all of these martial arts. And what you see in the cage is a byproduct of that, and it's sanctioned by athletic commissions. It's the fastest growing sport in society and in the world today.
Right now.
Yeah. So that's what mixed martial arts is in a nutshell.
Alright, so welcome to the first episode of Dojo Drifter, where everything MMA is discussed. Right now, just wanted to remind you guys that the lines are open, so you could call in at 631-2264. You could read it down here. There you go.
Right there.
That's the number. So just call in anytime if you have any questions, reactions, or anything you just want to say live on the show. Right now, we're at Wusa Studios here in Pasig City, the home of Boys Night Out, and of course, Dojo Drifter Live. Tweet us your reactions at Dojo_Drifter. I also have a Twitter at OGYAP, that's OGYYAP.
Gab Pangalangan. Just follow me.
And mine is at Spank Attack 34. So that's Spank Attack 34.
Alright, to start the show, we like to start it with the Dojo Drifter 5 rounds. Just like in the fights, we have 5 rounds. We give you 5 of the latest and hottest headlines in the MMA world right now. And we'll start with 1FC's Dima Catalan fight. The referee got suspended. So for this fight, it was held in Indonesia, if I'm not mistaken. Catalan, who's Filipino of Team Lakay, fought and was actually knocked out by Dima. But the thing is, the fight ref got suspended because supposedly Dima had illegal strikes to the back of the head of Catalan. So what do you have to say?
Just to educate the public is certain rules in mixed martial arts. One that stands out is you cannot hit an opponent at the back of his head.
Yeah.
So that's because it's, of course, always a priority is fighter safety and back of the head. 12 to 6 elbows. But in this scenario, it's the hitting at the back of the head that got the referee suspended apparently. And because it's the referee's job to warn or even tell the fighters that you're hitting him at the back of the head. If you do it again, I'm going to take a point away. And apparently that didn't happen. And it, just to again prioritize fighter safety, the ref got suspended because he didn't do shit. Basically, that's what happened, right?
Yeah, actually.
Hey, bro, I'm pretty sure he's not Team Lakay.
I'm sorry.
I'm checking like Sure Dog right now. He's under a full contact international, but I'm sure because I read he has his own fighting system, the Catalan fighting system.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay,
that's a
okay.
legitimate
Sorry.
representative.
I remember, just throw it out there for you guys who followed mixed martial arts, way back. If you remember Pat Miletich, he's the first guy who came up with a Miletich fighting system. So
yeah.
something like that. Yeah, pretty original for Catalan. He's Filipino, right?
Yeah, it's been
he's a
Pinoy.
wushu champ.
Represent
Yeah, so
Pinoys. What's up?
Yeah, but in that fight, there was a lot of many people were upset with it on the internet because there were so many strikes, elbows and punches to the back of the head. And then the problem was, Dima. The explanation is Dima doesn't really speak English that well.
Dima is
Yeah,
what?
actually.
What is his nationality? Just for our
He's
viewers.
Cambodian.
He's
Cambodian. Okay.
I mean, these mistakes happen.
What
Yeah,
do-
and then the ONE FC is doing something about it, so that's good.
That's good. That's always good if they, fighter safety. It's always, these guys are the people who, basically put asses in seats, and this is the. We have to prioritize fighter safety. I can't say it. Can't emphasize more on that. It's just, yeah. What weight class are they fighting? And I just want to clarify.
These guys, featherweight.
Featherweight.
Sorry guys. Based on Sure Dog, it's flyweight.
Flyweight, these guys fight it for our viewers out there. Flyweight's 125 pounds, but some of these guys got like 20, 30 pounds at a time, and by fight night they're fully rehydrated. They fight at 150 pounds, and these guys are trained athletes. They're professionals that you hear them hitting the pads with so much force. You can imagine that if you hitting at the back of the head
Yeah.
with elbows, 4-ounce gloves with every intention of knocking out the opponent. That's,
You could actually kill someone.
yeah,
with
yeah,
these
yeah.
strikes.
There hasn't been a death inside the mixed martial arts cage. There has been a death. That's for another episode. That there's been a death outside.
cutting? Is
Yeah,
weight-
about
yeah.
weight cutting. That's another episode. So we'll talk about that in the future. But right now it's fighter safety. Hashtag fighter safety.
Yeah, but hey,
Always number one.
the silver lining here is that Victor Cui announced that there could be a rematch
Mhm.
between Dima and Catalan in this upcoming ONE FC event here in Manila.
For sure.
So
We'll
that'll
talk
be good.
about that more later.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. I mean, guys will heal up. I bet they just want to get things straightened out. That the rules and everything and law. Because Catalan lost, wants revenge, rematch.
Yeah.
So
Actually, it's a good point that you said that about the ONE FC. I mean, they're a fairly new outfit right now, but it's pretty cool that sumasabay sila. They're being at par with international outfits right out there. Bellator, you've got UFC, you've got PXC, and
Definitely, man.
ONE FC is actually the biggest here in Asia, and sobrang sakto rin that they're being very, very professional about things.
And then what I like about, we're kind of going away from the topic, but I like it that they're adjusting. Remember when Tim Sylvia versus
Soccer
Andre
kick.
Arlovski,
Soccer
they had
kick.
soccer kicks.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
adjusted that rule.
yeah,
The
dude, I
soccer
just
kick
wanted to
rule.
clarify that. Back in Pride, soccer kick is legal. Illegal. Get it right, and they did.
Yeah, so
ONE FC.
This will only benefit the sport. These changes that are happening.
Doing good stuff.
So from now we'll see what happens to the next ONE FC event, and see if the rule changes are really upheld.
Yeah.
Next
Okay,
round.
so next round.
Next round.
Moving
Round
on.
number 2.
This issue actually has been around three. This actually came out around 3 weeks ago, but it's pretty big. I mean, I think the impact of this event was pretty big in the sport, not just in the UFC but all around the world. Josemar Palhares, he got cut for holding on to a lock. He was against
Who is he against, man? Oh, that was Mike Pierce.
Mike Pierce. Yeah, there you go.
Welterweight. His welterweight debut.
To the ankle lock.
Yeah.
I think it was officially like a second,
Well,
1.2 seconds too long.
If you guys who are familiar with, Palhares, I kept calling him Paul Harris for the longest time. It's-
Palhares ba?
How to say his name is Palhares, and he's clarified that with especially Bruce Buffer
Yeah.
and Joe Rogan and Mike Goldberg. So how to say his name is Palhares. But this guy is, if you see this guy, he's like if you're familiar with the comics, like if you see Wolverine's like 5'2", no neck, full muscle.
Yeah.
This
He
guy
is
used
exactly that.
this
man.
guy used to fight at 85, 185 pounds. He's 5'8". The guy is built like a bodybuilder, and with that amount of muscle, when he's a leg lock specialist, he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu specialist. This guy definitely might have knockout power, but he gets you in that vice grip. It's over, man. And holding on for 1 or 2 seconds, anyone who's ever grappled in their life, especially Brazilian jiu-jitsu or even judo, that kind of man strength, there's a fine line between hurting a guy and, making sure that, you let go after he taps out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
I mean, it's not a street fight, The ref, there's still a
For
ref
sure.
inside the cage, a third man
Again,
inside
like,
the cage, and that's
what
what's
we've
important,
been-
actually.
what we've been emphasizing since the first round, it's fighter safety. And, delving into that topic, I'm sure you guys have heard or even read about whatever's happening with Palhares. I don't know, either he's slow upstairs,
Yeah.
his training partners, even his camp, I don't know.
Yeah.
What are your guys,
Yeah,
what's your
'cause,
take on it?
Right now, there are reports that this isn't the first time that it happened, right? I mean,
Yeah.
for me, having fighting against Palhares and having him hold your ankle, no matter how long it is, I mean, a second,
Yeah,
a half a second, a millisecond, dude, that's full force cranking up on your ankles. You could actually injure yourself and get a lifetime injury. I mean,
Actually,
it might not heal.
Mike Pierce, guys he's competed with in the ADCC, which is the premier grappling event in the world, I
Worldwide.
think, is Abu Dhabi Combat Championships. He's injured some guys in that regard because this guy's super strong. He's been holding on for 2 seconds after they've been, tapping out, and these guys undergo MRIs and everything. And Joe Rogan practices Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu himself. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
emphasized that, it's different from sparring and boxing, where when you spar in boxing or kickboxing, you have all these shin pads, you have these big gloves, and you go 40%. That's why it's called sparring.
Yeah,
But in
yeah,
you go
Jiu-Jitsu,
like-
that's what separates. You can go full 100%. I'm gonna roll hard, and once you tap, dude,
Yeah, you
you're
gotta let
injury
go.
free. And
Yeah.
this just, I hate it. It just ruins the sport. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, MMA, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Palhares
Yeah.
drives me crazy. Drives me crazy.
Pero sayang siya. I mean, you have to admit.
For sure.
He's really
The
good,
guy is
man.
talented. The guy is a physical specimen. And Gab, I'm sure you've posted this on Dojo Drifter on Facebook. So if you guys haven't
Plug right
followed,
there.
yeah,
DojoDrifter.com.
Drifter Facebook also like that. So Gab, I want you to talk about, he's cut from the UFC, Bellator, WSOF, ONE FC. What's
What
the
are-
news on Palhares?
Well, man, we know how it goes, right? We know how it went. Held the leg lock too long. He's out of the UFC with a lifetime ban.
Yeah.
And then already, who's the first one that said? Bellator said they weren't
won't.
interested
Yeah.
in signing him. WSOF,
Said no.
yeah, they're not interested either. And then to add to that, the ADCC trials that went on, I think that was probably last weekend.
Yeah. Just
Um,
recently.
He wasn't made part of that, even though they invited him. But I'm not sure if that's directly because of the leg lock incident. I think it was just a communication thing. Like he didn't confirm that he'd go.
But to talk about that ADCC thing, I think he hasn't been banned from the ADCC. It's,
No,
it's
no,
a
no,
communication
he's not
thing.
banned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
he
he's
just
facing
won't be
Dean
com- he
Lister.
didn't
If you
confirm.
guys know Dean Lister, this guy's also sick leg lock artist, and I want to see him against Palhares. Just no injuries, please. You know what I mean?
man.
That's
Oh.
all.
Actually, we talked to Victor Queen,
Yeah.
CEO of ONE FC.
ONE
about
FC
it.
for sure.
He didn't shoot it down. First of all, when we asked him, "Hey, are you interested? Would you sign Palhares?"
Yeah,
Am I
Palhares.
saying it right?
Nice.
Okay.
Good job.
Would you sign him? They didn't
si
shoot
man?
the idea down. They said that Victor said that if the fighter is talented, if our scouts say that he's worth getting, and if this fighter is willing to have a fan base here in Asia, and if he's willing to fight in Asia, then sure,
Then
why
why
not?
not?
So for me, that's like the one opening that
Yeah, Palhares has.
Palhares has
has.
right now.
I'm
So,
not.
let's see.
I agree with you guys. The guy is just so talented that it's just he's wasting all of this for just holding on. You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not angry at the guy. There's no animosity there. It's just
sometimes I think
something's
he doesn't even
wrong,
do it
man.
on purpose. It's like he just zones
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He zones out and then he just holds it too long.
And the problem with
that's
holding
dangerous.
on for too long and knocking somebody out is the referee can step in at any time if even though you punch a guy with an extra punch separates you. But when you're holding on to that ankle lock or whatever, it doesn't.
That is
It's up to
different,
you.
man.
It's up
Yeah.
to
You know what I mean?
You
Is
have to
try
let
to
go, yeah.
pry a gorilla off of your leg. If he doesn't want to let go, he won't.
And these aren't amateurs, man.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like they're not used to the ref stopping fights, especially for Palhares, who's really
Guys,
proficient in his
don't take our
jiu-jitsu.
word for it. You Google Palhares. This guy is, Nitro Tech. I
beast,
don't know,
yeah.
whatever, man. He's
Yeah,
taking
he's-
some supplements.
And his nickname is Tokino, right?
Yeah,
Tokino,
yeah.
which
Means tree stump.
Tree stump. He's
This guy's
built like a tree
5'8",
stump.
dude. Oh man.
All right, man. Let's move.
All right, let's
move on. Move on.
Okay, for the third round of the Dojo Drifter 5 rounds, this is actually big. This is actually recent. Although it's not in the UFC, it's Tito Ortiz getting injured for his fight with Rampage for the first pay-per-view of Bellator.
Bellator.
This is actually just sad, man.
I know.
Hey, I have a conspiracy theory on this.
Game.
I have a conspiracy theory. So it's a week before Bellator, and then Tito Ortiz pulls out with an injury,
What's up with
a
that?
neck injury. So it's tragic, yeah. Just conspiracy theory. Then maybe there were reports prior to the injury saying that Bellator wasn't selling
A lot of
pay-per-views.
tickets,
They
yeah.
weren't selling a lot of tickets. It was gonna flop. Basically, that was a prediction. So I don't know. Maybe this is their scapegoat. Tito Ortiz has a history
Oh,
of injuries. I wouldn't be surprised if he got injured. So
So it's the easiest
maybe.
excuse for
Yeah,
Bellator.
because now what
Yeah.
have they done with the event? It's gonna be free on Spike.
Yeah. I mean, they're going on
For
with
sure.
the undercards.
Playing it safe.
Yeah,
just-
yeah. But hey guys, that's like a big jump, far cry from what really could have
UFC.
happened.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But whatever. Hey,
I
But-
mean, it's a big fight. Supposedly, it's two legendary
Former light
fi-
heavyweight
fighters.
champions.
Yeah, future Hall of Famers. I think Tito is part of the UFC Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
right?
dude, he
And
definitely
and then
is.
Rampage is for sure a future Hall of Famer. It would have been an epic fight if it pushed through.
Just to educate the viewers out there, it's Rampage, made his name in Japan in Pride. He was
Mhm.
champion there. Tito, built, the UFC, helped build the UFC to where it is now. Still wearing shoes, you know what I mean? First
yeah.
First
Old
light
days.
heavyweight champion,
Old school days.
longest reigning light heavyweight champion before John Jones broke that record.
Mhm.
And he was still in shoes, man. You know what I mean? He was fighting in shoes, fighting Ken Shamrock, and when they started having weight classes, that's when Tito Ortiz was the prime of the UFC. And we've never seen these guys fight in the UFC. It's never happened. I don't know why.
So
And
finally, it's
happened on
supposed to
Bellator,
happen.
but it comes out with a neck injury, and you think because he has such a big head,
does,
it
man.
just
He
outweighs
does.
his neck. I'm not saying Rampage has a small head. No, Bellator, injuries. That's it.
No, but that's the thing though. The thing with the leagues or the outfits in the States right now is that, dude, wala silang magagawa eh. I mean, UFC is there. They get the spoils of UFC, and that's the price you pay. I mean, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
If you get shit from other leagues, then you're not sure what you're getting.
Yeah, and for me, that was a risk Bellator took. You put two guys who are, I wouldn't say old. You could say old.
Dude,
Just
they're
certainly-
old, man. Come on,
Okay,
let's-
they're old.
let's be real.
Past their prime.
Yeah.
Past their
So,
prime, yeah,
and then
yeah.
one guy has a history of injuries. Come on, Tito Ortiz. He was like injured for like 2 years straight.
But come on, Gab. I mean,
It
for
was a
us
risk.
purists, for us fans, we've never seen them fight.
I was looking forward to it.
I was looking forward to that. You know what I mean?
It wouldn't be like the most technical, the most fast-paced
For sure.
fight, but yeah, I would have loved to see that.
Past their prime, their old happens outside the UFC. I still want to see it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
that's how
exactly,
big Tito
yeah.
Ortiz is still in Rampage.
For a time, Ortiz and Liddell were the biggest names in
Yeah,
MMA,
dude.
right?
Mhm.
And then Rampage was reigning supreme in
Prime,
in Japan,
yeah.
right?
Pride.
But well, that's what you get when you put on.
It's again a battle of styles. Like Tito Ortiz is the ground and pound wrestler. Rampage is there just to
Box
box
you,
and
man.
knock you out.
Mhm.
Styles make fights, and
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
people want to see.
So yeah, man, that's tragic, but it happens. Injuries in MMA.
Catch
It
Bellator,
happens.
guys. I mean, there's if you're a fight fan like me, I watch a ton of kickboxing. I'm hooked on kickboxing. You know, I watch a ton of pure grappling and jiu-jitsu. Catch Bellator, man. That show has some sick talent. Just it's not the UFC. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man, solid. Solid.
Yeah.
So if it did happen, who would have won?
And I'd go with Tito because Rampage is Rampage is he's known for getting out of shape and the weight cut. He missed the last weight cut against Ryan Bader, his last fight in the UFC. Am I right? He missed it.
His last fight for
Ryan Bader. Oh yeah, dude. I'm sorry.
His last win was
Bader.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But he missed weight, so Tito Ortiz always comes in shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
he's
just
rich.
this is a gas.
Except
tank,
for his
but-
neck.
Except for his neck.
Apparently.
And Rampage has those dynamites for hands,
yeah.
and we never know. That's my prediction. I'm a Tito Ortiz fan.
And that's exactly why I'm picking
Not because of
Rampage.
Jenna Jameson.
Supposedly.
Not because of Jenna Jameson. For you guys who know
Although
Jenna
props
Jameson.
to him.
But the
Props to
they're
him.
divorced, right?
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I would go for Rampage. So sorry.
Yeah, Rampage.
Oh,
I don't
come
know,
on.
because he wasn't that. His only sickness was a lack of motivation.
Shout out to the haters.
No man. It's
Anyway.
just motivation. So I think he'd have a better chance.
You heard it here on
Oh, yeah,
Dojo
see.
Drifter Live again. Gab's
What up?
going for Rampage. Audrey's going for Rampage. I'm
Not out.
gunning for
But
Tito.
Not out for
let's see,
Rampage.
man,
But
when
it
will
never-
this fight happen?
It never happened. If it
Yeah,
does
there
happen,
you go. That's the main point.
Tito,
End the day.
team punishment.
We'll see,
What's
we'll
up?
see, man.
Maybe when he gets healthy.
Yeah, for sure. Fix your neck.
Damn. He's had that neck injury back.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it was serious. I mean, he got operated
Surgery,
on,
all of
surgery,
that, man. Yeah.
It's really sensitive.
I wish all the best for Tito. That's it. As a fan, even if you guys want Rampage to win, I just want Tito to be healthy.
Mhm.
That's
Exactly.
all.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
So, for the next topic, our fourth round.
Moving into the championship
Yep.
rounds.
This
what's
guy,
up?
this guy fought really well against John Jones. Unfortunately, he's not getting the rematch, but it's gonna be Gustafsson versus Lil Nog for a light heavyweight fight. Your thoughts?
Okay, this is a great matchup. I thought Gustafsson would fight like Cormier,
Yeah, I was
but
thinking
this is
that
still
too.
a great fight. It's definitely going to be a stand-up battle, I feel, because they're both. They come from boxing, like pure boxing
Yep.
backgrounds.
Golden gloves and yeah.
Yeah, national champions.
For Lil Nog, yeah, for sure.
And then Alexander Gustafsson was Swedish boxing champion.
Who's coming here to Manila next
Be sure to
month?
catch that. Yeah, for
man,
sure.
I guarantee we'll have a special on that one.
Yeah.
So that would be a great fight. Plus, the arrangement was if he'd win this fight, he'd get the rematch with Jones. Also, supposing that Jones beats
Teixeira.
Teixeira.
For sure.
So this will
Glover,
be a very
baby.
pivotal match.
Glover, baby. What's up? I hate John Jones,
No,
but hey,
John Jones
Glover,
is good.
baby.
I am not a fan of
Liddell,
Teixeira.
Liddell.
is there a hater button here?
That's
I
for me,
swear,
I think
dude.
it's over here.
Dude, you should have a hater
No,
button.
man. But it's gonna be a good fight. But I don't even get why Teixeira's getting the shot.
Smells like a hater.
No, man.
Oh, sorry.
I think that timing-wise, yeah, there was no other person for that title shot,
I-
so it ended up
Yeah.
as him.
They have the same issues as the middleweight division.
I
but
get
that's
it.
for later.
I get it that both these divisions are stacked. It's just Joe Silva, who's the matchmaker extraordinaire of the UFC. That's a pretty tough job. If you think about matchup wise, it's like who gets a shot, who doesn't.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Who's next in line? Who climbs down? Who stays in the top 10, top 5? And
It's a hard job
I
to
agree
do.
that for you guys who don't know who Alexander Gustafsson is he's the guy who posed the biggest threat to John Jones, who's the current light heavyweight champion of the UFC. This guy's 6'5", has a 77-inch reach.
John Jones has never looked beat that
Yeah,
way.
dude, it was a war.
It was a war. I mean,
5
Jones
rounds.
was fighting, but dude, Gustafsson really grinded him out, man.
It's 5 rounds. Both had one takedown each on each other, and I don't care how great of shape you are in. Dude, that's 5-minute rounds that you're just standing there in the pocket.
Trading.
Yeah, trading. That's it. But that was quickly forgotten after the Melendez.
Oh yeah,
Sanchez.
We're gonna
We'll
move
talk
into
about
that later.
later.
But yeah, for sure it's. And for you guys who don't know who Lil Nog is, I mean, Oji,
Well,
how do you know Lil Nog?
Well, of course, he's his more famous brother,
Twin
Big
brother.
Twin brother, Big Nog, or what's
Rodrigo.
yeah,
This is
Rodrigo.
Rogerio. Lil Nog is
So hard to
Rogerio.
differentiate the names. Even
Yeah,
their
dude.
moniker is the same.
Even
Minotaur.
their
Minotaur.
faces, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's just the cut on
Big Nog's back.
that defines him. But
And they both got ink. You know what I mean?
yeah,
At the
yeah,
same time.
exactly. It's
And,
like
yeah, and I think the ink is the same. It's the logo of
Minotauro.
So it's the M. So it's so hard to like tell the difference.
yeah.
I want
But
one
this
one
guy-
fights at heavyweight, one fights at
Yeah.
light heavyweight.
And
So
Lil Nog, he's a talented guy, and he's coming off of 2 straight wins: Tito Ortiz and Rashad Evans.
yeah, dude,
Mhm.
That Rashad Evans fight wasn't that pretty.
the guy has sick
He
boxing.
won it. Yeah, through his
The
boxing.
guy has sick boxing.
3-round fight, unanimous decision.
For you guys who box out there, man, you can appreciate a guy like Rampage, a guy like Minotaur, Lil Nog, a guy like Gustafsson, and I agree with Gab. It's going to be a stand-up battle. But both guys are, in MMA right now, it's pretty rare to see a guy who's not a black belt in jiu-jitsu, who's not a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, who's in an NCAA Division One wrestler. You know what I mean? All
these
these
are all the
guys.
top guys. These
Yeah,
are
yeah, top tier athletes. So, it's another tremendous fight to look forward to.
That's my question though. Having been said that Lil Nog has great boxing, I mean they have really really great jiu-jitsu too. The
For
two
sure.
brothers. So stylistically, it's a tough fight to judge. I mean,
I get what you're saying. Is
Yeah.
will the boxing of Gustafsson be neutralized with the boxing of Lil Nog, and will one of them
and the reach, man. I
For
mean,
sure.
This is,
6'5" against
Lil
6'1"?
Nog is built like a beast as well. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
he's really thick. He's really big.
Gustafsson's a lean guy at 6'5".
Lean, tall guy.
Yeah.
So you really don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, are they gonna trade or will Lil
For
Nog
sure.
go for the takedown and try to beat him
Yeah.
through jiu-jitsu?
I think 'cause
We've seen
Gust-
crazier things
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
Gustafsson definitely has a better wrestling. But does he really want to take the fight to the
Yeah.
ground?
Will he
where-
implement that?
Where Nogueira would have supposedly a better ground game because he is a black belt, world
For
class
sure.
black belt. So for me, they might just stay away from those areas and just go for the boxing, which
For sure.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that will be a great fight to
I-
watch actually. Although Gustafsson might be too fast for Nogueira. That's just for me.
I just want to
I
finish,
think-
man. I just want to finish.
Yeah.
I see this going 3 rounds, because of the respect of the boxing or whatever. But I just want to finish, man. If Gustafsson wants the title shot so bad, he will finish Minotauro, Lil Nog, I mean.
That
And
was
if
act-
Minotauro wants a title shot himself, it's always a finish and impress Dana White and the Fertitta brothers. That's how you're
Exactly.
getting
Who
it.
knows?
Yeah,
Who
that's how
knows,
you're
right?
getting it.
Who
For
knows?
sure, for sure.
Yeah,
I mean-
and this. Go ahead, sorry, man.
No, I mean, he may be, because, see Lil Nog, he's kind of considered as a stepping stone. He's
Yeah,
just
kinda
one of
like a
those
gatekeeper
guys that
kinda guy.
when you watch him, you'll be like, he's a great fighter. Sadly, I don't think he'll be able to compete
Overshadowed
for
by the
Yeah.
heavyweight brother. I think
Exactly,
that's it.
I think so.
But,
But,
I think this is
who
his
knows?
time. I think it's his time to shine because Nogueira's been knocked out a few times. I think Lil Nog will.
But like you
step
said,
it up.
even though he's beaten top 5 guys like Rashad and Tito, he's still a stepping stone.
Yeah, he's
In
always
my mind,
underrated.
he's
He's
always
always
like,
underrated.
man, in order to get past, if I get past Lil Nog, I'm gonna get a
Yeah,
title shot.
yeah.
But dude, much respect. I'm looking forward to that fight. That's
he,
it.
he gets a knockout.
For
I
sure.
think he gets the
Hashtag boxing.
Same with Gustafsson. He gets a knockout. He finishes the job. Unlike what happened with the Jones fight, he gets to face Jones again for,
sure.
the title.
My one question though is, where is this fight gonna happen? I don't think it's
It's
the
in
venue.
London.
It's in London.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
same
neutral
with,
territory.
Same with Gilliard fight.
Yeah, the,
Yeah,
re-
the
the
rematch.
potential
Yeah,
rematch.
yeah.
Talk about that. We'll talk about
Later.
it later. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we've
Last
saved the
one.
best for last. The last round, we have.
Deep Waters, 5th round.
Yep.
Boom.
Vanderlei Silva coaching for the
Oh.
Ultimate Fighter with Chael Sonnen. Dude,
My favorite
This is
fighter.
exciting,
My
man.
favorite fighter.
I thought it was a joke. When they announced
Yeah,
it, it's like,
dude.
come on, yeah, that's not gonna happen. But it's the UFC announced it themselves.
For
so
sure.
It's gonna happen.
The guy's so busy though.
Who?
Is it just me or is
Vanderlei
Sonnen's
Sonnen.
so busy?
well, he hosts his show for
yeah,
UFC.
yeah.
He has a lot of things going on for
He's
him.
He's People forget he's fighting Rashad before
I said-
this coaching
Before this
stint.
happened.
I said Sonnen is the only guy who has a scheduled fight, yet has another scheduled fight after.
That's
He's the
sick,
only
man.
guy. When he was gonna fight, who was he gonna fight? Shogun.
Yeah.
There was also talks of him fighting. Well, it's always Vanderlei.
Yeah.
He's gonna fight Vanderlei. Now he's scheduled to fight Rashad. Then he's scheduled to fight Vanderlei.
It's like he fought John Jones and then he fights Shogun. You know what I mean? He's moving from 185 to 205. This guy's just a
Exactly.
competitor. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I know you don't like him, Oji, but
Huh.
he's a
All
competitor.
talk, man.
No, he's not
talk.
all talk.
all-
He
Promise,
backs
all
that shit
talk.
up, bro. Come on,
When
dude.
did he back it up, man?
Oh, when he
Shogun.
submitted Shogun, when he put him to sleep, he checks the clock, man. He sinks in the guillotine.
Okay, it's
He
against.
checks the clock, 30 seconds. He starts cranking that. Shogun tries to get his neck out, dude. He goes to
It was
sleep.
deep.
Taps
It
out,
was
bro.
deep. It was-
Chael, I love you.
Yeah.
Chael, I love you, bro.
I'm a Chael- I'm
Shout
a
out,
Chael
Chael P.
fan.
Sonnen.
Solid.
For sure, me and Gab. Hater right here.
Read that hater, brother.
Outnumbered, man. Outnumbered.
You
but-
like Anderson so much, you hate Chael Sonnen.
Yeah,
What
exactly.
the fuck?
Exactly, man. I mean,
Chris Weidman.
no, I just, you know what?
Chris Weidman.
I just hate the fact that people aren't considered for title shots or people are passed up on good fights
Okay.
because of his talk. I mean, dude,
It's
why
not my
fight
problem the guy
John
can
Jones?
talk. Go, Gab.
No, all I have to say is he only really cut in line for the
For the John
fight
Jones
with
fight.
John Jones. He like cut in line, karapalan, cut in line for that.
Dude,
But that was the only
Kupal
one.
niya, oh.
But that was the only one.
It's not his fault that they gave him a title shot. It's not his fault that they gave him a title shot. He started talking. Dana White, Fertitta Brothers, Joe Silva could have said, no, wait your turn. We'll fight. We'll put him against Vitor again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they said yes because
Because he's entertaining and he's gonna create buzz
hard
before
sell
the
because
fight.
he backs up
Exactly.
his shit. Because he backs up his shit. Hater here.
Hey, but
I'm
for
just saying.
this show, I even
Respect,
read that
respect.
Vanderlei wants he wants it to be Team Brazil versus Team USA. because
Which
he-
is actually
Which makes sense.
He
Yeah,
says he doesn't
actually,
want
yeah.
Makes
Sonnen
sense.
coaching Brazilian fighters.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
aside from the fact that
Good point, Gab.
Brazil hates
Sonnen.
Sonnen's ass, and Sonnen in turn doesn't respect Brazilians and Brazilian fighters, to be specific. Do you really think that the fighters will
Would listen
respect
to
him?
him.
Yeah,
You know,
listen to
Can't
him.
they understand him? He's speaking English.
Yeah, exactly.
Not everybody speaks English.
You know that's so funny when I agree with them 100% that he's entering hostile territory and I was expecting him to coach American fighters, but he's coaching Brazilian fighters. It's a TU. People don't understand this. This is the Ultimate Fighter Brazil. So he's an American coach who's hated by Brazilians because of what things he said against Anderson
Racist
Silva.
remarks.
Racist remarks, and this is from a guy who says what he means because he backs shit up.
No,
I'm just saying, he's beating these top 10 Brazilian fighters in 85 or 205.
except for
Shogun,
Anderson Silva.
whatever,
That's
dude.
Anderson
4
Silva,
rounds,
man.
dude. Anderson had no answer. Through the triangle, dude. Tawag dun chamba. It's
Tuhod.
pure luck. Oh, okay.
Tuhod.
Rematch. Dude, give him another fight. At 205.
You
I
were
promise
saying,
you.
oh, no.
Anyway, dude, I saw Gab post this on Facebook on Dojo Drifter. It's like, what's Chael's Team Sonnen uniform gonna
Yeah,
be?
sure.
And it's gonna be a Kevlar outfit. It says Team
Sonnen.
Sonnen, dude.
Beside
It
him,
was pretty
Anderson
funny.
Silva,
Yeah,
actually.
dude. He could. Gab, talk about that. About him possibly reaching out to Anderson Silva for
Yeah.
a coaching job.
Yeah, Sonnen came out saying that he wants. He might even reach out to Anderson Silva to help him coach his team.
For sure.
On Tough Brazil.
I can see that happening. I can see that
would
happening.
be fun. I'm sure Silva would be okay with it.
For sure.
Yeah, actually.
But I'm
Having invited Son into a barbecue.
Barbecue, yeah. But I
He
think
did not
this is-
mean that.
This is part showmanship by Sonnen. Just
For sure, for
throw
sure.
something out there
Yeah.
for the fans to talk about. I'm not sure if it will happen, but hey, if it does, that'll be good.
Hey,
That would be-
I'm
yeah, that would
I'm
be
buying
hella
it. It's entertaining. He's so marketable, dude, and I'm a big fan, Chael. I'm a big fan. Shout out to you, Chael. Peace
That's
out.
one thing about the Ultimate Fighter.
What's up?
The Ultimate Fighter Brazil, though. I mean, right now you have a very entertaining season with Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate. Those two have a very, very heated rivalry. What more Vanderlei Silva versus Sonnen? I mean, who in the world hates Sonnen more than Vanderlei
Yeah,
Silva?
dude.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, I saw that on the Mr. Olympia Expo. It happened where UFC fighters, because you're also supporting supporting the sport of bodybuilding. They were there. They had their own booths. Chael was taking pictures with fans, signing autographs, and then all of a sudden, man, because Vanderlei just it was up to here of all the tweets that Chael's been talking and running his mouth. He comes up to Chael out of the blue, like throwback Vanderlei style, like pride, man.
yeah.
You saw it in his eyes, like he was saying ton of shit to Chael, like you were scared, I'm gonna knock you out. And I love that about Vanderlei. And Chael was like,
Portuguese.
yeah. Speaking of Portuguese, no, but Vanderlei was in Chael's face, Chael was in Vanderlei's face, and Vanderlei was saying like, I'm a professional. He came out with a YouTube video. You search that.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy
Yeah.
with that. He was saying,
I'm a professional.
yeah, and then he says,
Real
Chael
men?
is not a real man. He doesn't
Oh.
talk face to face. Dude, you're making a video. You're talking about a
yeah,
video.
yeah.
Exactly.
So, man, I just want these guys to fight. All
Dude,
this
that's gonna be sick,
drama
though. That's
stuff.
gonna be
Yeah,
sick.
that's good entertainment, but I want
It's
to see
gonna
them
be
fight.
sick, man.
I just hope Vanderlei comes out in his prime. I mean,
Yeah.
the way he did with Brian Stan in Japan.
Oh, dude, that was sick, dude. Like,
Classic Vanderlei.
there
Silva,
was a
man.
point, like what Oji's saying. If you search this fight on YouTube where Vanderlei fought Brian Stan. Brian Stan is also a beast at 205, former WEC light heavyweight champion. For at one point, closed both their eyes, started
And
swinging,
started
man.
trading. Yeah,
That was the
As soon as-
craziest first round.
Swear, man. As soon as
Craziest
one
first round.
one guy hit the floor, Vanderlei would connect, Brian Stan would fall, he'd get back up, just start
Pa, 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 pa.
trading, man. But Vanderlei got the better of Brian Stan because that's signature Vanderlei Silva style. So
And
sick.
he got his mojo in Japan.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude. That's sick. So I can't wait for that Chael and Vanderlei fight.
But that's the thing, man. I don't think Chael will engage in that type of fight. He's gonna take him down, grind him out, ground and pound, or go for a submission.
For
Kinda
sure.
like what he did against.
Hey, dude, we've
Chael
seen
then.
stranger things happen.
Yeah.
If Chael knocks out Vanderlei style, that would be sick. That'd be sick.
That would be something.
But
man.
that is, like what you said, it's highly
Unlikely,
improbable.
yeah.
Unlikely, for sure.
Well, if he wins, that's for Brazil. I mean,
Yeah.
for Brazil.
Chael's
And
sick.
That
Rups.
that wraps up the Dojo Drifter 5 rounds.
Rups.
5 of the hottest headlines in the MMA world today.
And then some. We kinda
And then some.
Went to other stuff.
What's
Sorry,
up?
first timers, first
Okay,
episode.
what's the
Noobs.
next one? What do we have next?
What do we
Rups.
have next? Spanky, what do we have next?
Our-
It happened a week ago.
We're gonna talk about UFC 166. What is the headline for UFC 166? Could you refresh us, Gab?
Okay, guys.
The main
For some
event.
people who have short attention spans and memories, UFC 166 was the heavyweight bout, the trilogy of Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos. And I hope
This
you got to
ended.
watch it. It
Yeah.
finally ended the trilogy. Cain won by 5th round TKO. Sorry, guys.
Yeah,
Cain won.
man. Oh, man.
And it was just a
Hurt
great
me,
fight.
man.
And another highlight, there were several highlights on that card. That was what they were calling the best
Actually.
fight card in UFC history.
It was the.
I mean-
was it the 20th?
Not yet.
Not yet.
the
That's the
CSP
next one.
event.
All right, for sure.
CSP.
Sorry.
This event, another huge highlight was Sanchez versus Melendez.
Dude, that was
Yep.
sick, dude.
Fight of the century.
Century, man. You could
Man,
call it
was
century.
The
for
best
sure.
fight.
Actually,
3 rounds of back and forth action.
mhm.
What made it the best fight? Go, Oji.
Yeah,
for
actually,
sure.
they're calling this one of the best cards this year. Actually, I mean, it's worthy. It's worthy of the name. There are a lot of standout fights for this year, but this card, the UFC 166, it moved the divisions a lot. Let's
Yeah.
go do it one by one. I think we have to mention the DC Nelson fight. First of all, it's
Okay.
a
DC's
heavyweight
Daniel
fight-
Cormier, by
Yep.
the way.
It's a heavyweight fight between Daniel Cormier, former Olympic wrestler, team captain of Team USA,
Former Strike Force Heavyweight Grand Prix
former
champion.
Strike Force heavyweight Grand Prix champion,
Mhm.
against Troy Nelson, really fat guy,
Knockout power,
country.
baby.
knockout
Right
power,
hand.
great jujitsu, winner of the Ultimate Fighter heavyweight heavyweight
TUF10,
series.
TUF10 for
TUF10.
sure.
And yeah, what are your thoughts on that fight? DC won that fight via unanimous decision.
It was a great fight. I guess for people who aren't too familiar with Daniel Cormier, because he came from Strike Force, you got to see there how elite his wrestling is.
Yes.
How easily he could defend
I
the
agree.
takedown. How easily he could get the takedown. He was you got to see he's on a different level.
Yeah,
And we saw a slimmer Cormier because he's moving down to 205,
For
lower
sure.
weight division. So it was great to see his skill set, even if he cut a lot of weight, that he could still maintain his explosiveness.
He's
and
getting
his
in
game.
shape, man. He's like what Joe Rogan has always been saying from these bigger guys who can drop a weight class or two. It's like he's slowly transforming his body, and he's the guy. Let's face it, DC, tremendous athlete. He's hanging out of his sides, man. The guy is. If you saw him back in Strike Force, still explosive, elite wrestling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Weighed 240 at least. The guy's down to 225. Imagine what he might move like at 205. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
exactly.
which is maybe a more natural weight class for him.
Yeah.
So I agree with Gabbits. DC implemented his grinded out style wrestling mentality. He's, by the way, teammates with heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez. So
That's
He
why they
was
won't
in
fight.
Kane's corner.
steel
During the
sharpens
fight.
steel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm
Yep.
just saying.
Exactly.
So train with the best. And Ryan Nelson basically he didn't give him any opening to unleash that right hand he calls a missile. So I wanted to see Ryan Nelson implement his jiu-jitsu though. I saw videos of him rolling with Frank Mir.
Yeah, he beat
Yeah,
Frank
yeah,
Mir.
for sure. And but that wrestling kind of style is just he leans on you.
You get tired,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to implement a good jiu-jitsu game when the wrestler is that good.
For
of a
sure.
wrestler. Like,
DC, Daniel Cormier, I'm a big fan.
You can't take anything away from Roy Nelson.
Oh,
though.
man,
I
for
mean,
sure.
You can't blame him for not going down jiu-jitsu wise.
Yeah, for sure, for
going
sure.
down on DCG.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, Roy Nelson, was it? I read somewhere it came out with a tweet. I forget where I saw that, or is it on Facebook? It's like, I'm not trying to beat Daniel Cormier inside the cage. I'm trying to beat Daniel Cormier at cutting weight. So I think he's making that same move to 205, and I'd like to see Roy Nelson at 205. That would be sick.
Yeah.
Roy Nelson at 205.
Yeah,
Although,
dude.
yeah, I
he
mean,
actually fell out of the top 10 already of the heavyweight.
Yeah,
division
man.
in
Who?
The UFC. Roy Nelson.
Roy Nelson.
He's out of the top 10. So I think, hey, it's about time. People know they just have to avoid your big right hand.
For sure.
So you have to move to a more efficient weight division.
Mm-hmm.
And change it up. I mean,
Change
like
it up.
he's also come out that he's lost a couple of coaches, a couple of training partners, but you're as good as your last fight. That's always what Dana White's been saying. And man, I'm a big Roy Nelson fan. That's for all the cake lovers, the pizza lovers out there. I know he's not on the Dolce diet, ladies and gentlemen. If you know what the Dolce diet is, he's not on that. The guy is
man.
eating
Dunkin'
cheeseburgers,
Donuts diet.
pizza, donuts. I'm just saying, I'm a big Roy Nelson fan. So DC, still DC though.
Yeah, I mean, just my last point in that fight. It's just fun to watch how the heavyweight division is just really, really changing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like basketball. I mean, for the ones who watch Slam, Robbie Raya's show.
Shout out Robbie. What's
11
up?
o'clock, still on the same channel, Wusa Studios. Basketball centers right now are becoming very, very agile. You see that in Dwight Howard.
Versatility. I get that.
And you see that in the heavyweight division for UFC, for Bellator. These guys can move. They weigh what? Around
260.
260. They fight at around 270, 280. And dude, they run around the cage. When they grapple, they move around you. Frank Mir is an example of a good
I was
grappler.
gonna say the age of the muscular over.
The
gigantic-
lumbering giant.
Yeah, the days of those types of heavyweights are over. You have to be more technical nowadays if you're a heavyweight. You got to be faster. Case in point, Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos
Dude, that-
Santos, the best heavyweights in the world.
That's so crazy, man.
Are
Gab,
not
talk about the
massive.
cardio.
Yeah, they're not
What's up?
massive Shane Carwin, Brock Lesnar types. They're technical, they're fast, they're accurate.
Yep.
But still, I mean,
That's the new heavyweight.
Brock, he may not possess the boxing of JDS, the cardio of a Cain Velasquez. The guy cuts to 265. That's the heavyweight limit in mixed martial arts right now. So the guy cuts to 265. The guy moves like a man who's 100 pounds lighter.
Who is this?
Brock.
Oh yeah.
The
that's
guy,
a
the
athlete.
guy, freak athlete. The Cain Velasquez is a freak athlete. The guy has no muscle tone whatsoever. If you saw him beside JDS, you look like he was eating pizzas and burritos the day before the fight,
Yeah.
or
Yep.
the entire training camp. No abs whatsoever. The guy has a pace during the first round. It's the same as the fifth round. The guy's a freak of nature.
Yeah,
That's basically
I
it.
think that plays in together because since he doesn't have a lot of muscle mass, he doesn't tire as fast.
But dude, that guy, that's just sick. I mean, we
Yeah, the
can
pace is
give him
fast.
the nickname Cardio. I don't know if you guys agree. It's a Cain Cardio Velasquez.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
sick.
Cardio Kane. Cardio Kane.
Yeah,
Well,
Cardio Cain.
Before we move to the next fight,
What was the next one?
DC's move to 205. Do you agree?
I agree, man.
I mean, isn't it just because he doesn't want to fight Kane?
I think that plays a part, but I think he would just realize his true potential at 205. Plus, John Jones is running out of opponents at 205. I think DC.
Well,
You know what I mean?
That's true. Although
It's a
Kane
win-win
is-
situation. Don't fight your friend. Get to test John Jones.
Exactly. All right. So the next fight we can talk about for UFC 166, legendary fight of the decade. They're saying Melendez versus Sanchez. I think it was a perfect matchup for me. Just to start the conversation, it was a perfect matchup. I mean, dude, Melendez versus Sanchez. Melendez just stood in front of Sanchez, traded with him, put on a show.
It was an
That was it.
episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was it. It just stood there. If you guys are into these fighting games, there's forward square. That's what happened. I swear, dude, there was one point Melendez was punching Diego Sanchez in the neck, and Diego
I saw
just
a few of those.
ate it like a pancake.
He's like a pancake.
Dude, he like took
Exactly.
3 shots to the fucking neck, dude, and he was just, come on, bring it. I mean, this guy's so intense.
It
I
was
don't
good.
know, dude. I
Feet
don't know,
planted
man.
on the
Yeah,
ground,
feet
man.
planted that would
Kept
knock
on
anyone
trading.
out. Dude, he just ate it like a pancake. Dude, I swear, dude. This guy was at IHOP, basically.
But the beauty of it was you got to see how technical Gilbert Melendez
For sure.
really is.
Exactly.
It was a show.
About to say.
Sanchez is a brawler. We know that.
For sure.
But you can see there's a difference, man. The timing, the rhythm of Melendez was there.
I get what you're saying, Gab. It's like, how do you deal with someone who keeps coming forward? If I'm Gilbert Melendez, it's how do I pick my spots? At the same time, I'm trying to deliver that knockout punch. I'm trying to win the round. I'm trying to maintain my cardio. And with Diego Sanchez, who has tremendous cardio himself, and it keeps coming forward, how do you deal with that? And I applaud Gilbert Melendez for that. But if we were to base it off of fan screams and asses out of the seats, I think Diego Sanchez won that fight by a landslide. I'm just saying, man. The guy's a warrior.
But
Had a
you-
massive cut.
But I think I forgot who said this first, but I agree with the sentiment that you gotta thank Melendez for this because he could have coasted.
For
Yeah.
sure.
First round, he could have
Exactly.
For
coasted
sure,
2
dude.
rounds. The last round, the last 10 seconds of the third
He
round.
brought it himself.
But he brought it. He risked getting knocked out. Not a lot of guys do that.
He got caught though. I mean,
He got caught in the third round.
if people, if you watch the replay, if it's on YouTube or whatever, if you guys remember, he got caught. I mean, Diego could have finished him. I think he went for a submission, but they were so slippery, he couldn't finish in the
Yeah,
third.
yeah,
So,
exactly.
but he caught him with a punch. So, I'm just saying, Melendez, props to him.
But
Chop.
that's the thing.
That's him.
You may say that Melendez brought it. He could have coasted, but he fought. He traded with him. But the thing is, if you really watched Melendez closely, he was scientific in his attack. I
For
mean,
sure.
it
Methodical.
wasn't- Yeah, it was methodical. He didn't get into
A brawl?
a brawl with Sanchez, or he didn't get into Sanchez's space. More so, actually, he was in front of Sanchez, but his head movement, bro.
Yeah, for
As
sure.
in, Sanchez would punch him, but you could see his
Bob
head
and
movement.
weave.
He was like,
Yeah,
okay, you're egging me on, but dude, I'm gonna trade with you, but I'm gonna be scientific about
For
it.
sure.
I'm
It's
not
like-
gonna I'm not gonna get caught
It's-
that easily.
It's difficult to not sustain any punishment if you're dealing with somebody like a Diego Sanchez who fights like a tornado. You know what I mean? If you're in that tornado, there's at one point you're gonna get caught. But yeah, I agree with you completely. And because he brought it and he won that fight, I think he's on the cusp of a title shot in the most stacked division in the UFC, which is lightweight at
Yep.
155. So, no news on the Gilbert Melendez situation at 155 yet, but I think he's on the
He's
shelf.
there.
He's on the cusp. Yep, for
Yep.
sure, for sure.
I think Dana White actually mentioned it, that if they have to keep the ball rolling at lightweight, that if they want to have a contender after the Josh Thompson versus Anthony Pettis fight, they might have to skip TJ Grant
Yeah,
as a top contender and go with Gilbert Melendez.
I agree with that.
So
I agree
we'll
with
see
Me
that.
what
too.
happens.
Same here.
For sure.
What could have happened if it was a 5-rounder, by the way?
Oh, dude, man, I don't know. Diego could have had his
Melendez.
eye
Yeah.
out, and he would still be fighting.
Yeah,
So
most
sick,
likely
man.
the doc would have stopped it.
Yeah, he wanted
Oh,
5
man,
rounds.
dude.
He wanted 5 rounds, but Diego Sanchez wanted a 5
Yeah,
rounder.
for
But no,
sure.
man.
Yeah.
3 was.
Hey, we never know. If Gilbert Melendez in the future ends up as champion, which he could be, you know.
That's good for Sanchez because he could. That's a selling point that they'll have
Yeah.
another war.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
5 rounds.
I mean, just to say that if even though he doesn't end up as champion, he could say, "Hey, man, we have unfinished business. Let's continue this
Let's
in the
do
fourth,
this,
fifth,
yeah.
and sixth." You know what I mean? So
Fifth hanggang fifth lang.
no, because if it's going to be a continuation.
Well.
Oh yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Now, what was the next
But
fight?
yeah, trust us. Watch it.
dude,
If you haven't
catch
watched
that, man.
one of the best fights
Oh,
in
dude.
UFC history.
Sick.
If you want to see two people just slugging it out.
Yeah. No
Melendez
time for
versus Sanchez.
popcorn. No time for popcorn, man.
Yep,
It's
yep.
serious.
On to the main event. Junior Dos Santos versus Kane 3 for the heavyweight championship. It's okay, man.
Big JDS fan.
Okay,
Big
man.
JDS fan. Cigano, what's up?
Actually, I thought he was gonna bring it. I mean, he knew what he was getting into. He knew what Kane would bring.
Wrestling. It's wrestling 101, man.
I didn't know what happened.
Dude, it's just that cardio and wrestling. Game plan, cardio, and
His
wrestling.
cardio was better though.
His cardio was
JDS.
better. His
Yeah,
car-
JDS's
his
cardio was better than the first fight.
I'm-
The second fight.
I'm just saying, the best cardio of JDS could not compete with the
With the-
best cardio of Kane. For
With-
me, I'm a big JDS
Yeah.
fan, and I'm admitting that Kane's a beast, man. Kane's a beast.
Wala, he really was looking for the knockout.
Treadmill,
but-
bro. I don't know what this guy's been doing.
To JDS's credit, he improved his conditioning a lot.
For sure.
That's why
Mhm.
he was able to remain dangerous even in the latter rounds. He also mixed it up, more elbows.
Yeah,
Those
for
elbow
sure.
strikes were landing. I was worried.
Yeah.
for
I think I saw some kicks.
Short elbows that were
Yeah,
dangerous.
just set up, yeah.
Kicks, knees. He mixed it up better. What else did he do different in this fight? Better takedown defense.
Defense,
Damn.
exactly.
He
For
really
sure.
stopped a lot of
Yeah.
takedowns.
Kane's a.
He even took Kane down once.
Yeah.
Once.
Like the judo sweep.
I get that. Yeah.
And that was a good move. I mean,
That was a good
the
move,
sweep.
it worked.
Yeah.
But dude, I mean, after the fight, if you saw both their faces, man. I mean, Kane is reportedly out with a dislocated jaw.
Jaw. Yeah, I read that.
Oh,
But with the-
okay.
but-
I didn't know that.
But with the boxing of JDS, I mean, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
But you
You're
know, if
lucky
you-
it was just the jaw.
Yeah, man. But I saw, if you see JDS's face, man, it's like every time, man, every time he's just being peppered with punches and flush, dude, flush on the
Yeah.
face. Man, it's like
Exactly.
he got stung by 50 bees, man. You know what I mean? And that's I think that's, if I don't know if you guys agree, that's the game plan of Kane. Neutralize the boxing. With boxing, you need to measure distance to get a good shot off. Kane would pepper JDS with 1, 2, 3, and then grab him against the
Clinch,
cage,
yeah.
lean on him, and that happened in 5 rounds, man. That's the latest UFC knockout in terms of
Oh,
rounds,
yeah, that's
dude.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
People get knocked out in the
Exactly.
first, second, third,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
fourth, at the fifth, at the very last minute. That's rare, man.
Yep.
So props to Kane, man. But I still hate you, JDS.
Although JDS had a heart of a champion.
Oh, man.
Kept on fighting. First, second, third, fourth, fifth round.
Talk about
kept on
that, dude.
fighting.
He came out with a statement that he thought he got finished in the second.
Although, yeah,
What's
that,
up?
that's dangerous
What's up?
actually.
Yeah.
Early
Oh,
signs
man.
of Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Maybe.
Do a better job, refs. Come on, just fighter safety again. Man.
Let's see. Dana White, president of the UFC, was pretty unhappy about that. that event in terms of referee stoppages, especially the Sean Jordan, Gabriel
Oh,
Gonzaga
man.
fight.
Oh yeah.
Talk
It
about
was-
that,
It
man.
was stopped a few shots too late.
Like he was able to get in 2 shots, I think.
Yeah,
After the.
two heavy shots, man. I
And
mean,
that's Napao, man.
yeah, these are the heavyweights, man, the big boys. Every shot, is a knockout shot. So, man, do a better job, man. It's like get Big John in there for every heavyweight fight.
Kung pwede lang.
I don't
best,
know.
no?
Wait,
Kung
wait.
pwede lang.
It just blows my mind. Like what Dana White says in his scrums. What you see post fight or pre fight. Like you get two gorillas who are both 6'5", 6'3", 260 pounds at least each, and then you get in this referee who's like 5'1", to
What's he gonna do, man?
115
Exactly.
pounds, dude, and like, please stop the fight, dude. He won't, dude. You
Yeah,
won't even
yeah.
feel him. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
So I don't know, but that's not under the UFC. That's
Unlike-
under the commission.
Yeah. Unlike Big John before, like
Yeah, dude.
he used to.
Big John
push-
will punch you.
He used to push Randleman around.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
Yeah.
Big
So
John.
what now, though? I mean, JDS Kane 3, the trilogy is over. Who the fuck can beat Kane, man?
This is
And
this
his
is,
wrestling.
This is the dilemma. I think we've heard this that this is Kane, this is JDS. They've fought
A
three
little bit
times.
lower.
They like,
This is Kane.
whatever, hater.
This is JDS.
They've
This
fought
is the
3
redeemer
times.
of the rest.
It's 2-1. Kane wins. Okay, they're not gonna fight each other for a while.
Yeah.
But whoever you put against Kane Velasquez, he's gonna beat. Whoever you put against JDS, he's gonna beat. So at the end of it, if you make a flow chart, they're still gonna end up fighting each other. So that's why I think, please Dana, just eat up Bellator so we can get some talent. I don't know if you're
Exactly,
gonna
yeah.
take back Tito Rampage and check Congo, but I think we need more talented heavyweight fighters. That's the it's getting stacked itself, the heavyweight division. But
What it's looking like
Big fighters.
right now is actually Fabricio Verdun.
yeah,
He's probably gonna get the
he's next.
shot at
That's
Kane.
that's official.
And waiting also would be Travis Brown
Dude, Miocic. Talk about sneakers.
Miocic, yeah.
and Barnett.
I
Barnett.
dude,
Those guys.
faced assassin.
Actually,
what's up,
that's just gonna. They just need a few more fights.
dude?
Sharpen everything.
It just popped
And-
into my head. I
Oh,
could see a
yeah.
Miocic, Travis Brown fight, and I could see a Josh Barnett. Who's the guy? Josh Barnett, Brendan Schaub fight, man.
And then
That could happen.
So it's gonna be a heavyweight.
Like a
Grand Prix.
tournament,
That would
bro.
be good.
Yeah.
That would be
Like
good.
a
Heavyweight Grand
Bellator
Prix for
tournament.
UFC,
I mean,
yeah,
recently
exactly.
Miocic called out Gonzaga.
Oh, dude, that's
He
sick.
called him out. That
What's
would,
up?
That would actually work. That
Dude,
makes sense.
yep.
Rankings.
Joe Silva, we
Yep.
can help you out. We can help you out,
Yeah,
Joe
man.
Silva.
Listen,
Tweet
listen
us.
to the three of us.
Tweet us. We're not trying to do your job. We just help you out.
Yep,
Dana,
yep.
hire me. Go.
So we'll look out for the heavyweight division. A lot of movement right there. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
For sure.
So off to the next fight, next event actually, which just happened yesterday.
Yeah.
3 a.m., man.
Yep.
Talk about
3 a.m.
that.
I didn't wake up. Sorry.
This
I
guy was in
lied.
Bora.
I didn't wake
Yeah,
up.
I'm right.
For goodness
I-
sake.
I watched it
Replay.
during the replay.
Caught the replay too.
So you caught it in Bora.
Yeah, I was up at 3 a.m. to watch
Sick.
the fight.
Damn. Well, anyway.
And then, the main event was around 6 a.m. already.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And then, you guys, if you don't know what happened,
What is this?
Lyoto
What is this event
Machida-
again? UFC Manchester.
Yeah,
Manchester.
UFC
Yep.
Fight Night 30, otherwise known as UFC
UFC
Manchester.
Manchester.
The headliner was Lyoto Machida versus
Our very own.
the Filipino wrecking machine, Mark
Mark
Munoz,
Munoz, baby.
in the middleweight division. And then Munoz, unfortunately, got knocked out
Head kick
in the first round.
First round, bro. Man,
Man,
sad.
I was depressed. Like I got
I
knocked
was
early,
depressed too, man.
and then okay, we're gonna
This
start
shit.
this day right.
Yep.
And then Munoz gets knocked out.
With a head kick, man. With a
But-
brutal
Dude, I can-
dragon head kick.
I can imagine Gab like, shit, man, we're gonna start this day out right, man. It's like
Then boom.
the sun's coming out because it's 6 a.m. It's like, hey, you can sleep now. You can sleep
Yeah, I
now.
didn't know what to do after. Like, because nakatamad din to write about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, depressing.
exactly.
Because
For sure.
honestly, what can you write about what Munoz did? He hardly got to do anything.
He didn't land a.
Much
He
as
didn't
No,
land
dude.
anything.
Munoz, but
He landed a kick to the shin, but it
he
wasn't.
tried for only one takedown. I wish he went for more takedowns.
I know
I wish he
exactly.
went
That
for
was his game. So I didn't know why he didn't stick
I
to
agree,
it.
I agree.
So I
Yeah.
mean,
I think I'm about to cry.
I don't. I don't know.
Seriously, I'm thinking about it.
If you're gonna ask me about it, I think it was just the wrong. I think he was a bit scared. I'm
Too
gonna
much
put it out on
respect,
the
I
table.
think.
Yeah,
Some
more
people say
scared.
that, yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
it's out of respect.
No, I think
They were teammates, by the way, for those who
yeah,
who
they
don't
were
know
training
about it.
partners at one time. Like
And
I
they
think
were
2
training
days
partners
before, 2
2
weeks.
days before it was announced
Oh,
that they
dude,
were
that
fighting.
was sick, man.
They were
So
training
that really
together.
happens. I mean, we can't emphasize it more. If you caught that, we're just saying what Joe Rogan and John Anik, Mike Goldberg wasn't, commentating for this fight. So we're just basically relaying what they were saying, and that's pretty rare in the fight industry in the UFC. And I think I agree with you guys that it was a feeling out process in the first round, but the first guy to react that he had enough information what to do, judging distance wise and how to attack the situation was Lyoto,
Yeah.
and he beat Mark Munoz to the punch.
He's good at that, though. I mean, that's his game. He waits for the person to attack.
And he's a striker. He's a
counter.
natural striker. It's again a battle of styles. What if you saw what Mark Munoz's game plan was I'm going to take him to the ground. I'm going to beat the living shit out of him
Donkey
like
Kong
Donkey
punches.
Kong punches, ground and pound. And Lyoto, being the karate expert, I'm going to pick him apart with my elusiveness. Maybe a kick here or there. I'll punch, try to end the fight standing up. And for a grappler or a wrestler against a striker, the fight always starts standing up, and it favors a striker. And Machida wins. And at 85, dude, this guy was, he was ripped, man. Lyoto looks good at 205, but 85.
For the fans
Sick.
out there who don't know, Machida used to fight for 205.
Light heavyweight champ, baby.
Mainly because he said that he had too much respect for Anderson Silva,
The
so
champ.
they didn't want to fight.
Who
uh,
was the champ?
who
Past
was
tense.
the champ.
Was.
So they didn't want to fight each other. So what happened was,
Stayed at
pinag-usapan
205.
nila. They were like, okay, I'm a rule 205, you rule 185. But now, since Anderson lost to Chris Weidman, Machida is now down to 185, and according to him, he's here to stay.
And he would, and he could fight Anderson. He would have no problems with that.
He said he's open to it.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, with this fight with Munoz,
Talk about the stoppage, how it ended.
basically it ended at a 3-minute mark.
First round,
First round and 3-minute mark with a head kick. Simple head kick.
but
Munoz tried to block it. The kick went through.
What
I mean,
happened there was Machida, because for like the first minute and a half, no one was doing anything.
yeah.
Mhm.
But after
Feeling
that
out.
point, when they did engage, Machida was able to land a solid body kick.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
that like twice.
On the
And
on
then
the
during
ribs.
the last kick, Munoz probably thought it was a body kick. Went down,
Yeah.
didn't block the body kick,
So,
but it went to the head.
Get it. Machida,
He set
body
it up.
body kick, connects. Make Munoz think he's going for another body kick, goes upstairs. For sure. And, just tremendous respect between both fighters. The restraint Lyoto showed.
Damn.
He saw
Yeah,
Munoz
much
was
respect
out.
for that.
Yeah. Waited for the ref, dude. That's hard to do because you're in the friends or not, man. That's to
You're in the moment. I
Yeah.
mean, just get if that was me, I'd just keep on punching.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's like, dude, I'm sorry, it's a business. And they,
Yep.
well, props to Machida, props to Munoz. I saw pics on Instagram that whoever loses, buys dinner.
They had dinner.
They had
you
dinner,
posted
dude.
it on your
Yeah, I saw
Instagram.
it.
Machida most likely bought dinner that night.
Yeah,
Most
yeah.
likely,
Come on, he
Pick
got
the
win-
restaurant.
He got the winning
Yep.
bonus. And
For
everything.
sure, man. And shout out to the Gracie brothers who were on one was for Munoz and one was for Machida.
In their gi.
Yeah, in
Very
their gi
nice.
and the weigh-ins. That was it
That was pretty cool.
Huron and Henner. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but bias aside, I mean, I was rooting for Munoz. I thought he was gonna do good. I mean, right after the Tim Boach fight, I thought he was gonna do good. But props to Machida. It was a great fight.
Yeah.
He used his style. He used what he used the strategy that he always does. And well, sadly, Munoz lost.
Yep.
But it's. I mean, at least unlike the Weidman fight, Munoz is in high spirits this
For
time.
sure, for sure.
He's not gonna get depressed.
Oh
and get
man,
all fat again.
these guys, Munoz being Filipino, he's a warrior, man. It's
He's a
like
warrior.
you can never count him out. And this guy will keep on fighting. I mean, it's just a matter of the 185 division is stacked as well, man. Not as stacked as the 55, but I think that's the next most stacked
Yep.
division. So you have guys like Luke Rockhold, former Strikeforce middleweight champion, who's just waiting.
That
He hasn't
would
had
be
a
a good
fight.
fight.
You know,
That would be
he
a good
lost to
fight.
Vitor. He could probably fight Munoz. That guy's 6'3", you know, looks like a surfer, is a surfer apparently. Fight Munoz for sure. And you have the Vitor versus Dan Henderson, that, you know, Pride rematch that's been waiting to happen. You know what I mean? And that's at 85, and you have Weidman versus the biggest rematch ever, Weidman versus Anderson. So 85's looking great. So
He has one more crack. I think Munoz, at his age, he has one more crack at the championship.
Yeah.
Win at least 2 more fights. Kaya pa eh.
two respectable
Pero
guys,
pag
for
mata-
sure.
Pag matalo pa siya, baka,
Yeah.
baka maging stepping stone.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Or who do you want Machida to fight next?
Oh, that's
the
hard,
question.
man. Oh,
There's so
whoever
many good
wins.
fights to me.
Oh man, I could see him fight Jacare. I could see him fight Jacare.
Yeah,
Another
they
friend
were
of his.
Yeah, dude.
exactly. They were
Oh,
floating
this
that
is sick,
question
dude.
though.
What's
But-
up with these Brazilians, man?
I mean, well, they're all friends.
yeah. Vitor. Oh, whoever wins the Vitor, Dan. Whoever loses the Vitor, Dan Henderson. I think could happen.
Pwede.
Whoever
Loses.
loses,
Whoever loses fights Jacare. Whoever
Okay.
wins fights Machida.
He can dominate.
For sure.
He can dominate 185.
Joe Silva,
dude.
help us out. Shout out.
He can dominate 185.
Oh.
All right. So that's it for UFC Manchester. All right, guys. I mean, let's have some fun. This is the first episode. It's gonna be Halloween in a few days.
Yeah.
So, having
Scary fighters.
Talking about MMA, you won't have a lack of scary fighters, and I don't mean fighters in costume.
Not intimidating.
Dude.
Don't get us wrong. Like, scary stare down. No, man.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
scary
no.
straight up.
physically.
Scary.
Who doesn't need a mask for Halloween? That type of fighter.
Yeah.
All right. So first up,
I think if you guys, this guy. See, I called
We
her a
don't
guy.
even know.
I called her a guy. This is a girl. This is a woman. Apparently. Guys, you Google her. She's Cyborg Santos. It's Santos, right?
Yeah.
Cyborg
There.
Santos.
There's a
Oh,
picture.
God, man.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, God,
I
that's
mean,
a girl.
Look
That's
at
a
her,
woman.
man.
She fights at 45. She's calling out Ronda Rousey to fight at 35. That's sick, man.
See this girl in a bar picks you up. What you gonna do?
Dude,
Literally picks you up
Yeah.
or figuratively picks you up?
nothing.
Well, if you
You can't.
Well-
You can't do anything.
Now, I think she's going by the name Cyborg Fustino. Since
no,
She's
that's
ma-
her real name.
This
didn't she get divorced?
is
from-
managed by Tito Ortiz, and she fights for Invicta.
Dude,
And
they were rolling. He picked up Tito Ortiz as if he was.
See, he- Steroids.
She picked up Tito
steroids.
Ortiz.
What?
She picked up Tito Ortiz just
Steroids.
like a ragdoll.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude. I
Man.
wish I had a six pack like that.
Scary,
That's
scary
one
fighter.
scary person, man.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a woman. She'd kick your ass.
Oh, man.
Kick your ass.
And dude,
easy.
Definitely.
The face, man. I hope you're not watching. Well, if you are, we're in the Philippines.
Bye.
You can't reach us.
Moving on.
Moving on, you have Junior Dos Santos
The big
post fight. We talked about this a while ago. Dude, his face is just
Messed
wrecked,
up,
man.
messed up,
As in,
man.
messed up. JDS.
bloody.
There
all
you
the-
go.
Oh man,
He
check
reminds
that.
me of this Halloween character. I forgot what his name was, but dude, Kane can put on some damage, man. It's like that's not how he looks like.
It's not the food allergy, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying, no matter how much Benadryl this guy drinks, he's gonna look like that. That's after the fight, man.
Exactly.
This is
Scary,
sad,
scary.
though.
I mean, scary face.
Okay,
yeah, although,
let's
yeah,
let's
it's a bit-
move on. I
LeBron
don't want to
James-
cry.
LeBron James hairline though.
I don't want to cry in our first podcast. I'm a fan.
Next up,
Next.
well, he has been scary for years, man.
with
this
the
is
mouthpiece.
The axe
Vanderlei.
murderer,
Vanderlei Silva, screaming at the camera.
Yeah. and
Pride.
Surgery or no surgery.
Surgery.
Give him a
Sick.
facelift. It doesn't matter. He's gonna look
Yeah, yeah.
intimidating.
Dude, if you have the name the axe murderer, man,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
You gotta be a scary guy to earn
You're
that.
friends.
that name.
You're friends with Jason Voorhees. You know what I mean? And Mike, who's
Have
that?
him-
Leatherface.
Yeah,
Mike Myers.
Mike
Mike
No,
Myers, not the comedian. I'm just saying.
Have him face you in the octagon.
Sick, man.
How do you react in a stare down, bro?
You know what?
It's
He's a pretty good guy. I've been hearing that he's a tremendous dad. You know, he's
Oh,
a
yeah,
nice
yeah,
guy,
yeah,
but
yeah,
he has
that's
some
nice.
ink on the back of his head. This guy, scary
Scary
man.
dude.
I'm just saying. If this guy shows up at the parent-teacher consultation, man. He's sick, man. And next up,
Next guy we have, man, this guy doesn't need a costume. His name's Antonio Bigfoot Silva.
Bigfoot.
You should see some of his Halloween costume ideas. We'll post them on Facebook.
Oh,
Funny stuff. But just look at him.
He uses his face to an advantage in terms of when it comes to Halloween.
Yeah, man.
The
look
guy
at
is
that.
6'3".
I mean, he has a gland problem. Like I said.
Gigantism.
Yeah.
Oh, are you serious?
That's
I did
why
not know
his face and
Gigantism.
hands
Yeah,
are
dude.
gigantic, like out of proportion. But
Look
it's,
at
it's
that,
a
man.
medical condition. But look at that mug, dude.
I can't do
Scary.
it. I'm
Dude,
speechless, man.
and
Sorry.
especially with his hand speed, what he showed
Oh, yeah.
with Wolverine, tangina nakakatakot talaga siya, man.
Bigfoot.
Really
So
look
for
like
all
Big-
you ladies
Bigfoot.
out there, Bigfoot
Ito,
equals.
yeah. Actually, a lot of people think na, for the girls out there,
Andre.
a lot of people think nagwapo siya, looks like the guy from 300, but
King Leonidas, man.
yeah, but
But
you
with a
know,
mouthpiece.
with a mouthpiece, he looks like a werewolf. And Andre Arlovski.
Former UFC heavyweight champion and
now
best friend of Tim Sylvia, apparently.
What, they fought like 5
Four
times?
times,
Four
bro. I don't know.
and now he's in ONE FC
Guy's scary.
fighting. He actually just looks like a wolf with his mouthpiece.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's
well, they're just
The
scary.
Belarusian,
Yeah, man, I hope to see this guy in the Philippines again.
for sure.
Yeah. When he fought here in the Philippines, dude. Yeah,
I was
we
screaming
saw
my,
him live.
I was
Yeah,
screaming
yeah.
my lungs out, man.
Gigantic.
Guy's 6'4".
Scary dude, man.
Yeah.
Very, really scary. And so those are the fighters you would not want to mess with.
Trick or treat.
this Halloween.
Trick or treat. Trick or treat. Trick or treat. I'm just
Okay.
saying, you want to be a cage fighter? Think again.
All
The
right.
last
Boom.
part,
So the last part
Let's
of
wrap it
our
up.
show, Gab and I, unfortunately, Spanky was not there, but
Was
Gab
there,
and I
sorry.
got invited recently to the ONE FC press con. They got big news. They got stuff coming up for the Philippines, and we have a video for that to present to you guys.
Show a clip of that.
Yep, we'll show a clip of what happened in the ONE FC press con held at Midas Resorts and Casinos along Ross Boulevard. It was held last
that was
October.
Thursday.
Oh yeah, Tuesday, October.
Thursday,
Ay,
October 24.
4. Yeah, sorry. Thursday,
Big
October
news.
24.
So they were there. I wasn't.
Yep. Victor Koy had big announcements. Let's play the video.
What's playing behind us?
Gab, what's up? Dude, wait. It's so funny, man. Everyone had a...
Alright, fight fans, this is a night you do not want to miss. All the best action in the biggest fight night in the fight capital of Asia, right here in Manila, December 6th. ONE FC, Moment of Truth. Be there, or you suck. Boom.
Alright,
Shout
that
out.
was the video.
Okay.
So,
Shout out. Come
Alright,
on.
so no, Victor Kui pretty much announced a fight card that's coming December 6th here in Manila. It'll be at the SM Mo Arena.
yep.
So, man, it'll be a stacked card with some of the best Filipino fighters. You got Honorio Banario
It's done.
fighting Koji Oishi
Joke.
in the rematch for the title, featherweight title. Folayang will be on the card, Edward Folayang. Gravity Eustachio will be on the card, Kevin Bellingon. And the first ever Filipina ONE FC fighter,
Boom,
Juliet
man.
Nagoa.
Man, you better catch
She's
that.
a atomweight boxing champ. Solid fighter. I'm excited to see her in the cage.
Yeah, actually, I really like the fact that they're ending ONE FC here for the year. They have a lot of announcements. We're gonna show some video of that soon in the next few episodes. We got a lot of interviews for you guys to watch out. But on the card, Oishi versus Banario. I always wanted to see this. I mean, the last time they were here, Mo Arena, I watched as well. It was just sad, man. 5 for 5 Filipinos just kept on losing.
Yeah.
You know, the
What
problem
was that?
with-
Rise to Power. What is
The,
Rise
the,
to Power
the,
like me?
the problem with Filipino fighters, I think, is they do not know how to back off. That's
Yeah,
both a
they-
good thing and a
yeah,
bad
yeah,
thing. You know, they just keep coming forward.
That's
They're gonna
true.
eat
Fighters
punches
do.
like pancakes again. You know what I mean?
Who doesn't love pancakes?
Yeah,
right?
man. IHOP, what's up, man? I love IHOP. I'm just saying.
So they don't back down. That's why they're so exciting. I was talking to Lauren Mack with ONFC, and he was saying, yeah, these guys, Filipino fighters, always entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, like if you think about it, if you step back and look at it, could spell their own demise.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah, yeah.
yep.
So, you know, just shout out to Filipino talent.
Yeah,
Team
Team
Lakay,
Lakay,
baby. Team
Team
Lakay,
Lakay,
what's
Lakay.
up?
up in
man?
Baguio. We're
Yeah.
gonna be there soon.
Yeah.
Watch us out.
Hopefully.
Well, for me, that Banario Oishi fight, it's very, very intriguing because Banario almost won that fight.
He was leading
Yep.
for sure. He was
First round, he was
Wow.
leading. Second round, he gets caught. To say that it was a lucky punch, well, he didn't want to admit to it when you asked
Yeah,
him
he
about
didn't
it.
say it was a
He didn't
lucky
want to
punch.
admit to it. But if you think about it,
He'll be
as
back.
a fan, it was, man. He was charging in just like Pacquiao versus Morales.
All heart.
Lucky punch, but I think
Versus Marquez, you mean?
Versus Marquez.
I'm just
sorry.
saying. Sorry.
This fight, he's gonna do good. I think. I mean, he's ready for it, and just like what you said, they're very, very focused this time. We
Yeah.
interviewed them. We got to talk to the fighters, and they're really, really focused, and they really will know what they're doing.
Yeah, well, I know this first they were also comfortable at the press con. They've been through this before,
Yep.
so they're comfortable. That's a scary thing. Second, they were very focused. That's even scarier. They know what they have to do. They know what they're up against. These Filipino Team Lakay fighters. So I don't know. That gets me revved up. I want to see them fight.
Yeah. I was talking to Edward Folayang during the press con, and yeah, I talked to him about his training in the U.S. and what happened with the Shaloros fight. Well, 2 points. The first one is that he just thinks that he peaked too early. Parang he didn't
Scheduling wise, training camp.
And he wasn't able to absorb all of the things that he learned from the States. And just like what
Yeah.
a friend of ours told me during the press con, it's Neil from Camp Jansen. He said that, syempre, when you can't teach, you can't learn anything during your training camp. Your training camp is there to really sharpen you and to really make sure that you're ready for the fight. But if you're learning something new, if you're learning some new techniques, it's gonna overwhelm you in the end. And
Yeah.
during the fight, that's what happened. He didn't know what he was going to
I think
do
I
with
think
Shaloros.
I think Folayang, perfect example that he would his charges to experience. Whatever
Yeah.
information or
Exactly.
training he might have, he's gonna come back better, stronger. He's gonna come back a better fighter. So whoever he's fighting, I'm worried about.
Yeah,
So good luck to
exactly,
him.
exactly.
So that's
Yep.
it.
All right, so let's look forward to ONE FC Moment of Truth. That's December 6th. To end the show, I'm not sure if it's ready, but we have the last an interview.
Alright.
Gab, let's talk about
Shout
that.
out to Liz.
Okay, so we got the scoring interview with Andre Galvao, second degree BJJ black belt,
ADCC super
fight champion.
Boom.
He won that just recently.
Atos
over in
Jiu-Jitsu,
Beijing.
baby.
Yeah.
Atos
So we got to
Jiu-Jitsu.
interview him. You'll see. We'll be posting the complete interview throughout the week. But for now, we have him
A
talking
clip.
about his fight philosophy. I think you'll find it very interesting. Check it out.
Andres Galvao.
My jiu-jitsu philosophy is like submission. I believe like as jiu-jitsu is, you gotta like try to finish the fight. You fight to submit. You fight to finish the problem. You know, like let's say when you have a problem in your life, you gotta finish that problem. If you have a problem with your parents, you gotta talk with them. You gotta finish that. If you have a problem with your wife, you gotta talk to them. And never lies, because jiu-jitsu is a real life. Jiu-jitsu is a real fight, real deal, in my opinion. It's the best fight ever. realize, try to finish your problems, like to finish the fight. Sometimes like things will be like really hard for you, tough as a fight, you know. But if you have a patience and if you have like a lot of endurance, you know, with the trials, you know you're gonna win. You gotta be positive, and you gotta know you're improving every single day. So nothing is forever. Everything's changed for good. You know, everything's happens for us for a good in the future. You know, like I say, no rain, no rainbows. You know.
Right.
Boom,
That
we're
was
back.
the video.
We're back.
So
Hey, what's up?
it was what
Yeah, man, it was great meeting Andre Galval. He was so game for the interview, and there's a lot to learn from him. And we will post a bunch of our interviews with him throughout the week, so be sure to check out Dojo Drifter on Facebook for that.
Dojo Drifter, baby. Don't forget the name. Come on, Dojo Drifter. It's so
Yeah.
easy, man. What's up?
All right, so that's it for the show. Again, we are Dojo Drifter Live. Catch us during the week on our
Please.
Twitter. It's at Dojo_Drifter. Check out the websites for the latest news on MMA, dojodrifter.com. Check us out on Facebook. Just search Dojo Drifter. That's it. Catch us next week at www.wusastudios.com. Stay updated on the time and what we're going to be talking about. Just check Facebook and Twitter for updates.
Sponsors, please, if you like this
Yeah,
episode.
yeah,
I'm
MMA
serious,
all
bro.
day, man.
I'm sorry.
MMA all day. Again, I am OG Yap.
This is Gab.
I'm Spanky.
And keep fighting, nation.
Yeah.
Peace
Woo!
out. Thanks for the time, guys.
Haters.
Hi, Camille.
You need that-
Wala
you need
na.
that